There is nothing more complete than a broken heart. Brokenness is not only an unavoidable part of one's life, it is a crucial part of growing. Maturity, wisdom, and strength all emerge through these cracks when we break. So be the love you never received and love yourself as someone you once loved. Because you are enough. This is the first ever episode of the Being Unique podcast. So, our episode 1 is all about love, and I'm very excited to share my perspective of this beautiful feeling called love. So, let's hit the intro music before we begin. Welcome guys to the Being Unique podcast. My name is Jaison and I am the host of this show. Each week I come up with new and exciting podcasts where we will be covering some of your favorite topics like communication, mindset, philosophy and much more awesome content which will definitely help you realize your highest potential. For this particular podcast, I've already written an article on this. If you would like to read it along, I've added a link in the description below. In this episode, we will discuss the topic of love, but most importantly, the 4 main types of love, and we will try to understand the difference between love, lust, and crush. And I'm very sure that the wisdom shared in this episode will stick with you and your life for a long time. Welcome back inside this episode, guys. I am super excited to share this with you, and without any further ado, let's begin. So today, I'm going to talk about the 4 main types of love that I am aware of. The first one is the physical love, which includes personal touch, closeness with your partner, and your presence in their life during the good and the bad times. The second one is the mental love, where you understand each other more than anyone in this world, and you have thoughts that provoke and resonate with similar actions. The third one is, and this is an important one, sharing a feeling of being seen, being connected, and being wanted by each other. The fourth and the final one is your chemistry between each other, the energy that you share and the vibes that connect you and make you feel special, and the meaningfulness of each other's presence. To reiterate these things in a simple way, the first one being physical love, touch, closeness, and presence. The second one is mental love, understanding and thought-provoking. The third one is emotional love, feeling seen, connected, and wanted. The fourth one is spiritual love, your vibes, the chemistry, the energy, and meaningfulness. I believe that one should go where this is fostered, grown, and appreciated, but also dare to leave where this is nowhere to be found. Because you deserve to be flooded with love, not searching up for dried up wells. Love shouldn't just be found. You should also know how to provide the same. The traditional way to show love includes presenting flowers or gifts, long hugs or deep kisses, and saying, "I love you" every now and then. But I believe that there are more obvious ways that are equally important, like spending quality time, acts of service, sharing surprise notes, giving genuine compliments, dedicating your undivided attention, and providing emotional support. We all fall in love at least once in our lifetime. But unfortunately, sometimes we even have to deal with breakups as well. It hits us really very hard and crushes our soul. The person who genuinely loved their partner will go through all the pain, the depression, and the darkest days of their lives all on their own. And once they start recovering, breathing normally, and start a normal life, the other person has already tried and failed another relationship or currently is trying to be in one. So if you feel that you are the person who is going through that painful phase, these words will definitely help you relieve the pain, even if it is just the slightest bit. There is nothing more complete than a broken heart. Brokenness is not only an unavoidable part of one's life, it is a crucial part of growing. Maturity, wisdom, and strength all emerge through these cracks when we break. So be the love you never received and love yourself as someone you once loved, because you are enough. The three most simplest yet most beautiful things, that is love, lust, and crush, have been complicated these days by all the fantasy books, TV shows, and social media. Let me explain this sequence in reverse so that you can have a better understanding of each of them. A crush is nothing but when you see a person, you feel attracted to them as if a magnet or an invisible force is pushing you towards that person. You might not even know that person's name, or you might never have talked with them, but you can still have a crush on them. When they enter the room, it feels as if the entire room has brightened up and you only see them and everyone else is just a blur. A typical crush only lasts for 3 to 4 months. So if someone doesn't feel the same about you after this period, it was definitely just a crush that ended, and it makes absolutely no sense to continue in fumes. Talking about lust, it is something that we feel for a person when we are sexually attracted to them. Not every time, but sometimes when we see them or when we are around them in close proximity, we get aroused and get sexual fantasies. That's normal because that's absolutely natural. A lust is something that might last up to 6 months or a year. And finally, let's talk about love. Love is when both the people have multiple crushes and multiple lusts for each other, and this cycle keeps on repeating forever and ever. And thus, only love out of all three could be everlasting. As the adage goes, the more the merrier. There is nothing in this world called too much love. The more you love someone, the more you will find ways to impress them. Even if you are already in a relationship or you are a couple, yes, definitely, the attraction and the connection are something that goes up and down. But what remains always constant is the utter respect that you have for each other. So before you are totally committed to a relationship, always check whether your partner is your best friend or not. If that's not the case, you should definitely wait for them to be one. My personal favorite takeaway from this episode is: be the love you never received and love yourself as someone you once loved, because you are enough. Thank you very much, guys, for listening to this first episode of Being Unique podcast. If you like what you heard, you can subscribe to this show wherever you are getting this podcast from. I hope you learned something and got some inspiration. If you did, let me know your biggest takeaways of this episode on my social media accounts @IAM_Jaison. Thank you so much once again for tuning in. I'll catch you up in the next episode. Now go out there and do something unique.